Exactly. You remember it, Arthur. I knew
I
you would.
remember it, I was there.
Right, we're now live streaming, but Sonia
We're-
will officially tell us when we've.
It's up there as live, so be careful. Okay, we're live, Chairman.
Thank you. We've got just
A couple of minutes, yeah.
minute to go. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rochester District Council's remote meeting of the executive, and a warm welcome to anyone watching this via live stream. Good evening and a warm welcome. We move, please, to agenda item number 1. Apologies for absence, and looking around as far as I can see, everyone that should be here is here, and there are no apologies. Moving to agenda item 2. Non-members attending. Sonia, can you read out the names, please, of any non-members of the executive attending?
Yes, Chairman. We have councillors Mrs. Gooding and Mrs. Belton.
Lovely. Thank you for your attendance tonight, non-members of the exec. Moving to agenda item 3, the minutes. Are the minutes of the meeting held on the 7th of October agreed, members?
Agreed, Chairman.
Agreed.
Agreed?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Agenda item 5, questions on notice from councillors. There are none, so we move on from item 5 to 6. Matters referred to the executive and reports from other committees, and again there are none, members. So that takes us neatly on to agenda item 7, which is the Q2 2020-21 financial management report. And if I could ask Councillor Simon Smith, portfolio holder for finance, to introduce the report, please. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, members. I believe you've all seen a copy of the Q2 report, and I've got a note.
Simon, you're on mute.
Beg your pardon. I thought I'd unmuted myself. So I'm going to read a report to take you through the Q2 management report, which has been circulated and is available on the council website. The purpose of the report is to set out the forecast revenue and capital budget positions as at the end of Q2 for 2021. The latest revenue budget for 2021 is 10.87 million. Changes to the original budget are due to drawdowns from reserves, which are detailed in Appendix 1. The forecast outrun as at Q1 is 10.92 million, which gives a small projected overspend of £54,000. This assumes application of the council's COVID grant application of just over 1 million, and a further 100,000 grant was announced after the report was published, but it does not yet assume any additional payments for loss of income under the government scheme. The COVID-19 pandemic is expected to have significant impact on the council's financial position, both in 2021 and future years. although the full impact is not clear and it will depend on how quickly the wider economy recovers. The council is incurring additional unplanned expenditure in a number of areas, such as support for leisure services, provision of homeless services, and increased litter collection. It also expects to face losses across most of its income lines, most notably of which is car parking. The projections within this report are based on assumptions which have a high degree of uncertainty and will therefore be subject to close monitoring and refinement over the course of the year as things further develop. The council has so far received 1.011 million of unring-fenced grant from central government to contribute towards COVID-19 related pressures, and has been notified that it will receive a further 100,000. We are required to report monthly on the expected financial pressures related to the COVID pandemic, and these returns have been shared with all members. Central government has also announced a scheme to reimburse local authorities for an element of its lost income. An initial claim of £288,300 has been made, and further windows for claims will be opened later in the year. The council will seek to mitigate any remaining overspends through in-year savings as far as possible, but does have reserves to draw on if required, ideally as a last resort. No longer-term COVID-related funding beyond 2021 has yet been announced, but there is a strong possibility that some of the income losses and the cost pressures experienced this year could be felt into 21-22 and beyond. The position will continue to be closely monitored over the financial year, with assumptions being updated for budget setting as appropriate. The council is likely to have to take difficult decisions to ensure its financial sustainability in the medium term unless significant additional ongoing resources are agreed for local authorities in the budget settlement. The spending review is expected to take place on the 25th of November, with the local government settlement expected 2 or 3 weeks after that. The original capital programme for 2021 was reprofiled in Q1, and the revised budget is now 1.969 million. The forecast outrun on the council's capital programme as at Q2 is 1.824 million. The table at Appendix 3 summarises the projected position by service area. That takes you through the highlights and the low points of our financial position. Happy to take questions with the help of Naomi Lucas, our 151 officer. Thank you.
Councillor Smith, thank you very much indeed. Members, are there any questions? Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Leader. It's an observation as much as anything on 7.25, just how disastrous the income has been in regards to parking. It really has shown, you know, the type of deficits we're facing, where car parking is one of our major incomes. And I think it should be noted that, you know, this is an important income for the council. And I think, you know, members of the public should realise just how valuable and important it is to help us to balance the books and provide a lot of the statutory services that they expect. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Ward. I think that was a statement rather than a question, so I'm not sure it calls for any particular response, unless you wanted to.
All I would say is that we obviously in Q1 were completely in lockdown. We had a degree of recovery in Q2, and you could have foreseen a little bit of optimism in the way figures might have recovered. But as mentioned in the report, there's a great degree of uncertainty, the biggest of which is now starting at midnight tonight for 4 weeks.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. If I can turn to Councillor FD.
Thank you, Chairman. Appendix 2, page 711. go back to that screen again. With the, lost the screen. 711, conducting elections and registration of electors. I can understand registrations of electors because we've got to do that. But why have we got a drawdown of 40k in Q2 of conducting elections when we didn't? Or am I totally lost here?
I can't answer the detail of that one myself.
I didn't think you would. Maybe
I'll
Angela.
pass that one
Deferred.
over to
Defer to Naomi Locust, yeah?
Thank you, Chair. I think I might just have to take that away and come back to you with a written answer on that, just so I can double check, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other questions, members? I can't see anyone indicating. And if that is the case, I will take you back to page 7.1 and refer you to item 1.1, the decision being recommended, and that is to note the Q2 2020-21 revenue budget and capital position set out in sections 3 and 4 and detailed in appendices 1 to 4. Is that noted, members?
Noted.
Noted.
Noted, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Then that concludes the business for this evening's meeting. Thank you very much indeed for attending. Thank you to members of the public. Thank you to non-members. And I will declare the meeting